Logan, it was a hard-fought game, really equal, and you guys had a lot of chances at the end there. From your eyes, what did you see as the reason you couldn't close it out?
We spent half the game killing penalties. I think when that happens, a lot of guys sit on the bench, and it kind of gets them out of rhythm. Throws off our 5-on-5 game, which is I think what we're really good at. That's it. We got to stay out of the penalty box for sure.
In terms of your captaincy, I know we talked a bit before, but what does it mean to you to be captain of this team?
As I said, I think it's just a recognition. It's nice to get. Obviously, I was very proud of it. Pretty honored to be able to be the captain of the Marlies. It's the Leafs organization is what I watched growing up, but it's leadership by committee on this team, and I think that's kind of what we're going to go with. I have great leaders, with Andy, Blender, and the old guys that kind of come in and out here. They all have positive things, positive enforcements for these young guys, and try to teach them the right things. But as I said, it's to do the right things, and how to be professional each and every day when the time gets tough. It's it's not an easy league. It's you're on the bus for long hours, and sometimes it can get pretty crappy. But I'm just there to just want to make sure everyone knows that I'm there to support them. And honestly, I'm on an American League deal, so I'm here to help those guys. I'm not, no matter what, I would always be supportive, but I'm here for them, and I just want to make sure that they know that.
I had a chance to speak with Igor Sokolov during the second intermission, and he told me that you were actually the best captain that he's ever had. How does it feel to know that you've had an impact on a young player like him?
Yeah, obviously it's nice to hear. That whole team over there, my first year there, we had 13 or 14 rookies, which was, it's kind of unheard of. It's a lot of young guys, so it was a lot of learning for sure. I would say the first year was a lot of babysitting, and then the second year was pretty amazing watching them grow and be professional players. And now getting the chance to play against them and kind of talk to them, it's pretty special. I think a lot of those guys kind of developed fairly quick, but it's definitely nice to hear.
And looking at your personal growth, you had a leadership opportunity when you were younger in the queue with the Remparts. How have you grown personally as a leader from that moment until now?
Experience, for sure. I think I had a message today from my first ever captain from when I was in junior. His name's Chris Culligan, and he's one of my favorite leaders I've ever had. And it was kind of my first experience of junior hockey, which is back then it was professional hockey to me. It's all I knew, and for him to be my first one, he taught me kind of right away what it was like to have a good leader and kind of follow someone that's going to lead by example. And he did everything the right way. He said everything, and he meant everything that he said. He wouldn't say something if he wasn't going to do it. So for me, I'm not a fighter, so I'll never ask someone to fight. So I'll only ask people to do something that I would do myself. So it's just learning from experience and learning from others for sure.
And I've got to ask, you're captain now, and being a dad yourself, do you have any advice for new dad Joey Anderson?
Yeah, get as much sleep as you can. But no, it's honestly enjoy every minute of it. My son's 2.5, and it's kind of crazy how quick he's grown up. But that's it. That's all I got.
Speaking of that, what was it like yesterday to see your son in the jersey that you wore today, and just see your parents here, see your wife? What was all of that like all at once?
All of it was a special moment. What they did yesterday for me was something that I'll never ever forget. Including my family in that. It's hard to tell you how it felt, but it was special for sure.
As captain tonight, you had some intense situations out there with the hits and the second hit on Axel. What do you tell your bench first game as captain, and how do you handle that situation?
Yeah, I think being a captain didn't change anything for me and how I handle anything. I would always be a leader no matter what, whether there's nothing or an A or a C on my jersey. But I think tonight was just try to stay with it, try to stay positive, try to stay up. I mean, it was a lot of penalty killing, so the special teams, it was a special teams game for sure. But it was just, honestly, all you can say is be ready for your next shift and make sure when you get out there you try to make yourself involved in the game as much as you can.
Coach, you guys had a little bit of trouble staying out of the penalty box tonight, but on the flip side, you were perfect on the penalty kill. Are you happy with how that went?
Yeah, we've been talking about the penalty kill. Last game went really well. Today was a phenomenal job to kill off all those minutes. Obviously, taking 4 ozone stick penalties, it's hard to win hockey games when our team does that. But finding the silver lining, our penalty kills turned around. Our details are really sharp. Power play got one too. So special teams were good. First period, pretty evenly matched period. There was some times for each team at each end of the rink. Obviously, the second period we spent the entire time killing, and it's really tough when you have the same guys burning a lot of energy, other guys sitting there getting cold. What was really good to see was the response in the third period and the pushback. This team's had a lot of character all year, and we made it interesting towards the end.
Talking about the end there, the goalie pull in the 6-on-5, it was pretty impressive towards the end. 3 minutes, you basically dominated their zone. What can you say about that part of the game?
Much happier with our plan. We've been talking about the pulled goalie scenario and making sure that we're organized. Those are big minutes or seconds of the game where it can make a big difference. And all year, sometimes you don't realize just how many minutes stack up into being in those spots. We got some really good looks on the inside. Their goalie made some tremendous saves.
Looking at a guy like Ryan Chizowski and the grin on his face when he got that goal, the passion that he has for the game, how awesome is that to see as a coach?
He's a big part of our team in terms of the energy he brings as a person. He plays hard, very competitive, and on the bench he's always talking, always smiling, brings a lot of positive energy, and is just a great guy to have in the room.
On Logan's captaincy, like we talked about before the game, you were targeting him in the offseason as an organization, but he's only been with the organization for a few months. What does it say about the confidence you guys have as staff in him as a captain?
Yeah, from day one that he came into our organization, he got right to work on building relationships, and you can tell he has a knack for the role itself and his objective of wanting to be a leader. He has a really strong skill set and personality to be able to do it. Really strong emotional intelligence of just knowing what's needed and how to feel out moments, and he's just super competitive, and he backs it up on the ice and demands a lot of himself, and also demands a lot of the team.
What did you make of the hit on Axel Rendell?
It's tough. Gaudette, tough hit, gets kicked out. Sabrin, who's a guy who, it's his job to go out there and be physical and, create some chaos, felt it was a pretty similar hit regardless of what an injury is one way or the other. To come out with two minutes, I think at the very least you're looking at 5 and then 2 for them for roughing. We can argue about what the calls might have been, but was hoping a little bit more for our players there.
And what was it like to see him bounce back, like Rendell come back up and be a player to be relied upon late in the game for you guys?
Yeah, he got an opportunity to step up in a bigger role today. Thought he did a pretty good job at the blue line with the puck. Proved to us again, and we've seen in practice and other times this season that he can really hit a one-timer and get pucks through at the point, which is a real skill and asset.
So he's okay after that?
Yeah, he had gone off the ice. He went through concussion protocol and returned.